Good evening, everyone. I'm Jonathan Thorpe. I'm a DevOps evangelist for Serena Software. So how did I come up with the Game of Thrones DevOps edition? Well, it started with surgery, Vicodin, and Game of Thrones DVDs. And I started going back on my career. And, it was pretty horrific at the time. So started with Winter is Coming. And in this case, it's like, you got a release coming up. And that release may not end up in failure. It may be successful. But if you were trying to do this DevOps stuff like 10 years ago or so, you knew that even though you were going to be successful, the road to success was bloody and painful. Now, chances are, if you tried to work and have both the dev and ops teams working together, somebody in their empire building would come and kick your ass at some point. You were causing too many problems. So in this story, we had the VP of products. I'm sure you've all worked with somebody like him. He's pretty evil. He wants what he wants, and he doesn't care about anybody else. I still work with people like that. No offense to any coworkers working. You got the heroic DevOps advocate. This was probably someone like me in my earlier career. Hey, there's got to be a better way. We all know how it ends for him, and there's going to be no spoilers. But basically, so now you got the VP of Ops. Now this guy, he's kind of stuck in his way, but he always tries to do the right thing. I could have chosen Littlefinger because he can work multiple sides of the story, but I have a man crush on Sean Bean, and he's just awesome. So now we have Tyrion. So notice he's got no title. You really don't know with Tyrion. He's sometimes good, sometimes evil, and he's doing all sorts of things in the background. Things just somehow work with him. So what part is he going to play? So now here's Winter is Coming. There's a new release coming. You got to figure out exactly what's going to happen. It's just there has to be some better way. You're determined not to make the same mistakes again. And come on. Okay, so the VP of products is like, I want my stuff and I want it now. And as if my tantrums before haven't been enough, I got a crossbow and I am actually going to kill you this time. Firing wasn't enough from in the past. Now at this point, if you've seen the thing, he's throwing a hissy fit. And what's going through his head? Vanity. Anger, greed, even a bit of the dark side. He doesn't know that. But, this is where he's going. And, key thing is it's me, me, me. I want my bonuses. I want my career to be successful. So now your heroic DevOps advocate, he's with his friends. He's learning new tricks. So, they're out in the playground, DevOps days perhaps, going, right, we're going to try this and this and this, and it's all just going to be wonderful. And there's one thing that we talk about at DevOps days events and DevOps in general. If it's painful, do it over and over. Well, go into war multiple times, probably not going to end well. So they decide to do like the jousting, which is the equivalent of dry runs, deployments in QA. And your VP of products throws a hissy fit. It's like, why in the hell are you wasting time on this? I don't care what this costs you. I don't care if you die. Just go and do your work. Quit wasting your time. So then, the VP of operations, I said, old school guy, but he's a good guy. So he does the equivalent of what I used to do, which is sacrificing chickens in the basement. He prays to the old gods. You've seen the movie? Doesn't end well for him. Doesn't end well for this guy either. What happens to him? Well, long story short, he doesn't get any help when he burns out. Or he goes to a red wedding, whichever way. But the key thing is what he needed someone like a Tyrion. The guy, you don't know if he's good, you don't know whether he's evil, but he can work both management and dev and operations at the same time. He's familiar with making everybody bend to his will, very subtly though, but he can make things work. I call this the equivalent of using Jenkins to manage your deployment pipelines, nuking your enemies with medieval technology. There are better ways, that's the only vendor pitch I'm going to do, Jenkins for production. But you need someone like him that can do things. And the good thing is that if you have someone like a Tyrion working the scenes, you get the girl. You get to go home to your family, or you get the guy, I should say, equal opportunities here. So you get the girl, you get the guy, you get to keep a family, you get to, get to not suffer from all sorts of things. Now this is toned down. My boss, who might be watching, he wanted me to tone it down a bit. So if you want the real uncensored version, come to DevOps Days Vancouver. It's going to be an awesome event. It's a long way. It's a nice location. I'll be talking about it in a bar with beer. And here, yes, and Game of Thrones would be a good note to end up on. Thanks for that, Mary. I wasn't expecting that text there. But yes, that's for my boss to say. A big thank you for sending me to all these events around the world and letting me meet awesome people like you. And I look forward to doing another session soon.